So for this piece, I'm playing on an original Ruckers instrument from 1640, which has come into the collection of the Rijksmuseum from a private donor. And it's just very special to be able to play old music on a real old machine, because it's very seldom does one get a chance to do that. Although it's nearly a century earlier than the music that you're going to hear, it's certainly appropriate. These instruments were recycled and made bigger in the 18th century to keep their sound intact. So I'm sure Bach would have been just as happy as I am to play on such a fine instrument. It's a beautiful singing sound. Some harpsichords can be quite dry or quite floppy. This has both. It has a centre to the sound, but it also has a lovely ringing quality to the sound as well. So we'll see. I think the slow movement will probably be joy to play on this instrument. So this concerto is an arrangement by Bach of a concerto by Antonio Vivaldi from his Opus 3 set. It's the 9th of that set, originally scored for solo violin. Bach was incredibly strongly affected and influenced by Vivaldi's publications at this time. What Bach does is he takes these concertos and arranges them, but also changes them. It's not just a simple transcription. And I think that's an important thing. Whenever Bach either rearranged stuff of his own or made a different version, there's always something new and different about them. It's not just a pure transcription. The beginning of the third movement starts with a sort of like little Carnival of Vienna. Then Vivaldi goes to simple 16ths, whereas Bach the left hand goes on holiday and has a real party. If we were to transcribe it back, Vivaldi could transcribe it as a concerto for violin and cello, because there's this incredibly busy left hand going on. That's the case in the first movement as well. And he'll change harmonies just to have more fun. This is a very standard opening for a slow movement of a Vivaldi concerto. It's the sheer power of harmony and sound, and it's something that comes from Corelli as well. I mean, you could make it more keyboardy by adding more keyboardy stuff, but the point is just it's pure harmonic colours. And the difficulty on the harpsichord, of course, is to not make it sound horrible, because, you know, I can imagine some performances might do, which is extremely nasty. You have to have the idea of the sound of the orchestra, the string orchestra, an Italian string orchestra coming from Corelli, which of course Bach was also familiar with that, just the power of pure harmony, which is what that gives you at the opening. And then you have the solo breaks, which are Which it's interesting because actually Bach changes virtually nothing in the solo line, although there are some. The delicious one is, whereas Vivaldi at the end goes, does that. Bach does this, which is just expands the melody slightly more, and it actually causes an interesting problem about how you finger that, because that last group, which goes up to the sixth. I actually use my sixth finger, which is the side of my fifth finger, just to be able to keep the sound, because it's all under one slur, which is rather fun. Quite dangerous, but quite fun at the same time.